What keeps you motivated about your job?
The main factor is we're actually helping people, working well as a team, working in a nice hospital. We achieve excellent clinical outcomes. It's a profession. There is stability. I know there is a lot of bad press about nursing and the NHS in general, but when it works really well.
You've been at Harefield 15 years.
That's right, yes.
How would you say things have developed?
Many changes. One thing was becoming a heart attack centre with the primary service that has really grown and developed. We also have, in the area that I worked, the TAVI service, where the elderly patients are now given an opportunity to have a heart valve. On the other side of things, pacemakers, ICDs, the whole area has just really expanded. Technology has improved so much. The number of people that work here, everything has really grown and evolved rapidly.
What role would you say nurses have played in that development of technology?
We have had to change with the times and keep ourselves updated with the technology because it's been put upon us. Also, nurses are constantly keeping themselves up to date with research.
So would you like to tell me a bit about NHS70?
What happened at that time, I was qualified for 9 months, so quite a newly qualified nurse. One of the ward sisters approached myself and one of my colleagues and told us of 2 opportunities to become involved in the NHS 50th celebrations. One was a Buckingham Palace garden party with the Queen, and the other was the Westminster Abbey celebration. It was a level playing field at the time. Everybody working within the NHS, including all the volunteers, had a chance. So it was really a special privilege for me. At the time, I probably felt that I'd only worked for 9 months, and a lot of the people that were going to the service had worked for years. But I guess it was good to have people on each end of the spectrum. It was a really lovely service.
So what was it like?
I remember, firstly, I took my uniform with me. It was a white dress with the blue epaulets. When I arrived, there was a room allocated for everyone in the procession. So there was 100 of us in that room. 20 people were allocated to hold a big banner, and on the banner was some images of the NHS through the ages, and I was among the other 80. There was an event organiser. He was a bit like a sergeant major type, really took control of all of us and explained to us what we needed to do. We did a dress rehearsal of actually parading and lining outside Westminster Abbey, and then also walking through the Abbey past that black and white tiled area and taking our seats right at the front. After we had done that rehearsal, we came back to that room. He told us at what point we would have to do it for real. So yeah, it was lovely. The building we went to initially was called the QE2 Elizabeth Conference Centre, which is opposite Westminster Abbey.
And what was the atmosphere like?
People were in awe of being part of such a huge celebration. Everybody was really pleased to be there. It was a beautiful room where we had breakfast and we were allowed time to enjoy the occasion. I think the theme really is one of gratitude to all the NHS staff. I think knowing who founded the NHS, Aneurin Bevan, there's a quote from him when he founded the NHS. He said he believed that it would lift the shadow from millions of homes. It would keep many people alive who might otherwise be dead. It will relieve suffering. It will produce higher standards for the medical profession. It will be a great contribution towards the well-being of the common people of Great Britain. I think for that man to launch the NHS, to believe in it, it was just an amazing thing that he done.
It sounds like it had a big impact on your life.
Yeah, and everybody in the UK. Most people have benefited from the NHS, being a patient, either working here, being a volunteer. If you think of the whole circle of people that have benefited from the NHS and the fact that it's free and such a huge undertaking, it was an amazing venture that he took.
How would you think attitudes towards patient care have changed in that time?
The fundamental elements are the same. To have the desire to help people and to want to do a good job. We can be under-resourced, understaffed, and there's lots of different pressures on nurses to meet patient demand. But, overall, we have advanced in lots of areas. But the theme of the shortage of nurses remains the same. I don't know if that will ever change. It is a stressful job, high pressured, lots of demands are put upon us. It's not for everybody, it is a challenging job. But if you're in the caring profession, there is an underlying desire to be that kind of person, to achieve good care, to feel appreciated for that. With nursing today, there are lots of different avenues that people can go down. It doesn't all have to be running with a defib towards a patient. It's not all stressful. We do have really good moments, fun moments. I remember one time George Michael's mum had been treated by the NHS, and as a token of his appreciation, he put tickets for a concert online, and I entered, and I know another nurse entered it as well. And we got to go to see George Michael free. I'm not talking just those type of moments. There are other moments when we had a celebration for the 5 years of the primary service. When we're within the hospital, there are lots of parties and other ways that make us work together and achieve good team building. So it's not all doom and gloom. There are moments that you can cherish from working in the NHS. This was a key one for me, a lovely moment to cherish and to celebrate.